Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. I not only have Saffron here with me today, but I also have Luna. She's on the ground, she's rubbing my leg. She's very excited to be here. But I've got both of them because today is a very special video and it's something you guys have been asking me to do for quite a long time, and I figured I should finally do it. So this is going to be the full plant room tour. I feel like the plant room is in a pretty good spot. I still have a few things that I would like to do with it, but I think it's time. I think it's in a place where I feel good about doing a tour, and then maybe once I get a few more things done, we'll do another plant room tour in the future. And I'm gonna show off basically my entire collection of houseplants. I do have some that live in my living room and some in my master bathroom, but other than that, and those are mostly common anyway, this is gonna be most of my collection. So I feel like it's fluctuated a lot, especially since I moved here. I lost quite a lot of plants in that cross-country road trip when it was 100 degrees. So it looks a little bit different. And then of course, the plants that are available in Texas are different than the ones that are available up north where I used to live. So I feel like I've been buying a lot of Hoya and Anthurium since I moved here, and I am totally okay with that. But enough of Saffron and I chit-chatting. Let's go check out the plant room. Okay, we're gonna start over here. I don't think I've ever shown off this corner to anyone before. This is my Propagation greenhouse. This I bought from IKEA back in 2019. So this is the oldest piece of plant furniture I have. And then of course my gorgeous philodendron Brazil. So in here is where I keep mostly my propagations for my Etsy shop. If you wanna check that out, the link is always in the description of every video. So I have a lot of the cuttings here. These are almost all listed on the shop right now. I have a few that I keep. So that obovata back there I'm going to keep, and I have some that are on their way. This one is almost ready to be listed, and then a few that need higher humidity inside of these Target greenhouses. That is my mother plant of my Caudata Sumatra, and then I had a couple single leaf cuttings of the Latifolia Snow Queen that I just wanted to keep in here. I also have some plants in here as well, mostly very tiny cuttings like Wyetii. I have a Crassipediolata Splash that has given me trouble until I put it in there. And then down here, I just have some pepper plants that I've been growing. So these are gonna be for outside. This is kind of a makeshift thing. This was a cat heat mat. I took the fuzzy part off and I've been using it as the heat mat for my seedlings, and that worked decently well this year. So that is this corner. Next to it is Luna on my couch. I know it looks really plain, but there's not much I can do about a couch. Luna loves hanging out on here and just watching me with whatever I'm doing. But above the couch, I tried to spice things up with these shelves. Unfortunately, they're a little too high to come off on camera with the way I have this set up, so I use the other background now. But this is my little Anthurium shelf. So this is my original IKEA soccer cabinet. I do have the Pap hybrid, which came back from the dead, guys. You guys roasted me up for that plant looking dead, but it came back. It was not completely dead. And then of course my favorite, the Silver Blush Dock Lock F2 hybrid, and my brand new Queen Anthurium. I also have my Bessier Mag hybrid that's looking really cute with the new leaf. There is browning on this leaf, but there's not much I can do about that. Oh, that's the old leaf anyway. Okay, that's the oldest one. This is a leaf that came out pretty recently. And then I have my Crystallinum Ace of Spades hybrid, my little red Anderson. I don't know where to put it, honestly. It has some browning because it's been acclimating to room humidity, but I don't really have a good spot for it because I don't want it to get sunburned. So for now, it hangs out there. And then of course, my towering Bipenifolium / Gordon that is very crooked, but I don't really know what else to do with it right now. With the next shelves, this one I just have a couple Hoyas for now. I feel like I'm gonna rotate what's on here quite a bit. This is my beautiful Bella variegated with a fungus gnat flying around it, so that's fun. And then my Pubic Calyx Pink Silver Ghost. I also have my Philodendron Carnival that I really need to chop up and start over, as well as a Maharani, which I flipped over because the leaves were just like facing the wrong way, but I'll face it forward. And this is my Philodendron Summer Glory. It's looking a little thirsty maybe, not too sure. It's working on a new leaf though, doing really well. And then I just have this my mom gave me, which does light up. Here we go. Super fun, and some Halloween decorations. I've got one there and one here. I really liked that they were houseplant themed. So this is my Lacanosa mint coin and my Scindapsa silver lady on top of my brand new cabinet that I have not shown off at all yet. So this is my Fabricor. I love the sage green. My in-laws got it for me for Christmas, which was super nice. I can't believe that they bought this for me. I just have a few plants in here right now because I want to get those corner shelves that are custom made, but they're very expensive. So I haven't got any yet. I just keep a few plants in here for now. This is my Thai constellation, my beautiful Syngonium chiapense over here with that gorgeous half moon leaf, my little Jose Buono, which is doing very well, just easygoing, my recently up potted Pinetti partita, and it's thanking me. It must have really liked that new arrangement. And then of course my variegated spiral ginger. It's got a couple new shoots. Here's one that just came up, so that's looking really nice and healthy. So that's everything in the Fabricor. And next to it, I have my little garment rack that I converted into a plant rack. So I'll try to show it off as much as I can. I have hanging baskets here, a couple of Hoyas, and then my philodendron silver stripe. It does have a non-variegated section, but that's okay. It does very well for me. It's a very happy plant. I got it in my first ever trade back in 2021, and it was just a little cutting. It's come quite a long way since then. These were my problem children, so all of these had a little bit of a pest issue, so I had them separated, but they are all taken care of now. They're all doing really well, and so I've been slowly bringing them back into the plant room. They're all Hoyas, of course. And then I just have a lot of Hoyas on this section as well. Also, my Bessier that hates me. It's the one Anthurium that I just really can't seem to make happy. No matter what I do, I have my Hoya Crystal. This is species Tangamus. It has never liked me at all. I have a Finlaysonii back there, a Hoya Joy. This is one of my many Matildes. You'll see a lot of them. A lot of silvery Hoyas from Sam's Hoyas, Silver Dollar, Wilbert Graves Thai, Carnosa Nova Ghost, Lacanosa Moonlight, my lovely new Mularioides. I love this plant so much. I have another Silver Dollar there, but unfortunately the vine grew through the little holes here and it thickened up, so I couldn't push it back down. And now it's just grown all the way up here. So I have to wait till it grows leaves to cut it, but that's okay. My Dr. Eibach that desperately needs a repot, but I am out of 4-inch clear pots. I did order some, but as soon as they come in, this is going to be the first repot. I also have some recently repotted plants. This is my Vitellinoides. It is thanking me with a bunch of new leaves, as well as my Finlaysonii chicken farm. I also have my Cutis porcellana up here. It's very difficult to see being backlit right now, but I did want to highlight my latifolia dinner plate here because it just put out all of these peduncles for no reason at all. I don't know why it has done this. I'm hoping I get one to bloom. I'll be really happy if that happens. Here's one of the bigger leaves on the plant. I really like this one as far as latifolia goes. It's just really pretty leaves. I love how big they get too. Back here behind my ring light is my low variegation albo. This is pretty much where it lives. The newest leaf is really upsetting to me, but it does have white on the stem, so I'm hoping for a leaf like this in the future. This would be fine. If they all did this, I would totally be okay with it. I have what's remaining of my silver sword. It was the first rare plant that I ever bought, and I did chop it up right before we moved, and this is the cutting that I kept. It is slowly growing, but it hasn't been the same ever since I chopped it. Underneath all of this, I do have prop bins, so this is where I put a lot of my little cuttings. I think I have some cute ones to show off in here. Yeah, So these are cuttings that I take for myself or the shop that really need a lot of humidity, or they're done in water. I like to water prop as many as I can first, just to get it stabilized and get roots started before I put them in here. But I have some really adorable Scindapsus Platinum cuttings that I grew from nodes. So I like to start nodes in a prop box as well. This is Hoya Carnosa Hollyana. I'm working on having a few of these available for my shop. I have quite a few of Lacanosa Louisa Silver. I have some Halo Micans that I just started. My favorite plant, it wasn't doing well, so I had to chop up the whole thing, unfortunately. But I also have some really nice looking ones in here. These are all Philodendron Splendid that I have been growing from nodes, doing really well. This is a Philodendron Rio. I only chopped my Rio one time the whole time that I've owned it, and this is the last cutting I have. The leaves have been really small, so I've been waiting for it to size up a bit before I sell that one. I also have another Hollyana cutting in here. I did have to chop that one all up as well. There is a theme with these prop boxes. And then finally, I do have one under the Fabricor. I'll bring it out and we'll put it next to Luna here. You helping? Maybe a little bit, a little curious. So these are all of the ones that I like to keep. I like to keep them all in here, pretty much the ones that I want to keep. Sometimes some go in the other prop boxes as well. I have a gorgeous Philodendron Carnival cutting that has been doing very well. I will probably take it out of here soon. I have a Carnosa Hollyana that has splash. This one I wanted to make sure to put on the side because I wanted to keep it. I've never seen anybody with a splashy Hollyana before, so I just wanted to make sure I have that one separated. I do have a few Hoya that live in here permanently because they just don't do well in low humidity. So this is my Thomsonii Splash. It does not do well unless it's in the prop box. So until it gets a lot bigger, it's going to stay in here. The same can be said for my Affinity Serpens. This is doing really well. It's wrapped around a few times, but I have found that the roots are just so thin on that one that it has to be in here at all times. I'm thinking the same is going to be said for my Lacanosa Peregrine Durian. It did not do well for me outside of a prop box, so I bought a second one and it's staying in here. I have my all white Philodendron White Knight that has been browning lately. It's been like this for 2 years, and so I don't expect much from it, but to keep it alive as long as possible and to keep it from browning as much as possible, I keep it in this prop box. I do have a Rehab Anthurium. Rehab because of my own accord. I underwatered it too much and it almost died, but it's come back. So this is my Anthurium Villeneorum. It's doing really well inside the prop box. It's just helping it along. It was doing fine with rehabbing, but I wanted to give it a little bit of an extra boost, so I put it in here. And then I have 2 Lacanosas that I had to start over. This is the species Kianger No ID, as well as the Lacanosa Mr. Tent. I'm hoping to get these out of here as soon as they start growing. But these prop boxes I got from Target. They're stackable. They're from the Bright Room collection, and they're only $4, which I feel like is a really big plus for these. Moving on from the prop boxes. Hi, Luna. She's very needy today. Yes, I know. I have a couple of floor plants. This is my Philodendron Paraiso Verde, waiting for more variation as it gets warmer, and another one of my variegated spiral ginger. This one is looking a little weird. It has struggled a bit. I don't think they like to be in chunky mix, but they also hate to be repotted. So I'm just leaving this one alone. The variegation on this one is not normal either. They do not look like this normally. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but I water it and I water it and I water it just to make sure it's doing okay at the very least. And then I have the plants that are on top of my Millsville Wide that you might see in the backgrounds of my videos. My Marble Queen Pothos really did not like being repotted. No matter what I do, fertilizer, watering, it just loses leaves constantly and looks really bald on top now. But the lower parts of it look fine, I guess. So I don't know. And these back here, these sections look pretty good. So I don't know what's going on. I hope it sorts itself out eventually. I have my gorgeous climbing plants. So this is my Philodendron Rio, almost to the top of its third pole. So that one, the Splendid, and the El Salvador are all reaching the top of their third poles at the same time, and I don't know what to do about that. So that is a monster. The Splendid, I really just need to repot because it cannot stand up on its own. It's so tall, and the leaves are mostly the same size. They're getting a little bigger, but not too much. In front of it, I have my Stanleyana Aurea. This is a beautiful plant. The leaves are sizing up. They are getting bigger. I am so proud of it for that. I feel like, I mean, it's not too much bigger than when I first got it, but it's something, and I can be happy about that. This leaf is small because this was the first leaf I think it put out in my care, so it kind of went through a little bit of shock going into a lower humidity environment, and then it just got right back on track. The variegation is also super stable, so I can be really happy about that. Next to it, I have my Philodendron subhastatum, which has been doing very well. I got this as a very tiny top cut from my friend. The original leaves are gone. This is the smallest leaf that is left. And then these are the most current leaves. This plant is very unassuming when you first look at it, but it is known for these gorgeous red backs. This is part of the Philodendron erubescens family, and the only way I get these plants looking big and beautiful is just putting them up on a pole. So that is how I'm getting it to size up very quickly. Next to it, I have my variegated money tree. This is a sport find. It does have some new growth. Not all sections are variegated, so this one is green. This is very highly variegated over here. I feel like that's gonna fall off soon. So I feel like this would do better for me in higher humidity, but I don't really have that, so I'm just letting it do its thing. In front of it, I have one of my only alocasia left. This is my alocasia scalprum. I do need to chop this off. I do not put up with blooms on my alocasia. There are 2 plants in this pot, so the other one is putting out a nice, beautiful leaf. The older leaves just get kind of saggy and curled in. As long as these leaves are firm, the newer ones, I don't really worry about this plant. It is very hardy, especially for being an alocasia, so I just leave it be. Behind it, I have my variegated heartleaf. This one, I just need to start over. The leaves are getting smaller because I kind of missed keeping up with the pole, and I just want more than one vine climbing on it. So I am, once I have room, going to chop up that entire plant. So that will be happening in the near future. I have next to it my beautiful jade satin Scindapsus, which has grown into the pole. Oh no. Okay, after this, I'm gonna try and get it out. Oh, that's so bad. Oh no, guys. Oh, that is a tragedy. Okay, hopefully I caught it early enough so we can take this off and get it out. I do have a second vine growing up here, but it's normally really slow, so I didn't pay attention. I didn't think it would be, that's just perlite. I didn't think it'd be doing that. Oh gosh, okay, we will sort that out later. And the last plant up here is my Anthurium crystallinum. It has been doing okay. I mean, my Anthurium leaves don't always look the best, but after I fertilized it for the 6-month round, we got a new leaf coming out and it looks really good so far. So I'm just planning on not touching it, and hopefully it won't look like this one, but hopefully it'll be bigger than this. This is the biggest leaf on this plant so far. That leads us to the Millsbow Wide. I have done tours of this before, but I think it looks a lot different now. So I'll go ahead and do the tours of both of my Millsbows. We will start with the top row. I usually put all of my favorites on the top. So I have my Hoya Snow Queen Silver. I am waiting to attach it to this ring plant stake that I have for it. It has grown 3 leaves in my care. I got it as a single node cutting, and they're doing really well. They're very cute. The growth has slowed down lately, but I'm hoping it'll pick back up soon. I'll just move this below so I can get to the other plants back here. This is my Hoya species Bintulu Borneo. I did show it off on a recent video, but I do love this plant. It's just very understated to me, very underrated Hoya. Nobody talks about it, nobody has it, so I love Hoyas like that. This one too, this is the Hoya species Sumatra. I love the splash on it. It is another one of those very subtle, understated plants. This leaf in particular is my favorite. It's just so cute. I really can't get over it. Behind it, this is my Hoya Lai, and it recently has started growing. I think there's the vine, but it's got 2 new leaves back there, so I will need to attach it to its clear plant stake as well. And next to it, this one is sun stressing really beautifully. This is my Hoya prick tie. It also recently put out a vine. The plants are loving the spring weather. They can tell that it's warming up. They can tell that I'm putting fertilizer and taking better care of them. So they're doing very well in that regard. I do really like the sun stress actually on these leaves. They come out more of a green color, but that's just really cool what it's doing with the veins. I also have this very sad Sangii intervariegated. I don't have too much to say about it because it doesn't do anything, but that's okay. Moving on, we have my Hoya Bat Cave. I am obsessed with this plant. I will never shut up about this plant even if it never grows for me, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I have also my Hoya Silver Lady, which does not grow, does not do anything. I am thinking about chopping it because I do have 2 nodes here and seeing if that will encourage some growth. I also could probably fertilize. But behind it, I have my Hoya GPS 7240, also known as the Grape Hoya. Unfortunately, I have no sun stress on it, so it looks like green grapes. It doesn't look like purple grapes right now, which is crazy because right next to it, this has sun stressed with no problems in the same lighting conditions. So what are you doing? Not sure. I also have the Royal Hawaiian Purple Pubic Calyx, crossed with Hoya Fungii. I do really like this one. The vine is going crazy, so I should probably get that one a trellis soon. And behind it, a Wilbur Grave Silver, which I love. I love silver Hoyas so much, but it just won't grow for me. The top is active. It's not dead. It just hasn't grown, and I bought it in October, so I don't know what to do about that one either. I also have the Hoya Numelarioides Silver, which I don't think I ever thought I would own. It has not really grown since I got it. I'm hoping maybe it will soon. Get that one out of the way. This is my Patcher Walleye 023, also known as Icensis 023. It did give me this gorgeous little leaf. Oh, I love it so much. It did get woody, the stem afterward though, so I don't know. I think it is due for a repot because it gets dried out very fast in that small pot. I also have my Hoya Wilbur Graves China. This was my first Wilbur Graves, one of my first rare Hoyas back when it was considered rare. I did grow it out super long, chopped it up, started it over because I wanted a fuller plant. And I have sun stressed it pretty well. That splash is getting very pink. I do have new growth here and there. The variegation on this one is very stable compared to some that I've seen. So I am very fortunate to have that. I also have a plant I need to water back there. That is one of my 2 carnivorous plants, and I'm too scared to get rid of the dead leaves. And like, it's healthy, it's fine. I do need to add water to the reservoir on the bottom, but the older leaves just kind of die off and then I get scared to remove them. So it looks kind of crazy, but I promise you guys, it's healthy, it's fine. I also have my Nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost. Mine does not grow as crazily as the ones I see on the internet. I don't know why. Mine just kind of has little spurts of growth and then it'll stop for months at a time, but it is in a very healthy, happy place right now. I got it originally as 1 cutting. I did chop it up into 3. I traded one of the cuttings and then kept 2 that I put in here, and they're doing very well, so I'm okay with that. I also have my Hoya Mini Bell. This one is very cute. It took a while to get going, but then it did grow 2 new leaves for me, which is nice. I also have my Hoya Parviflora Splash that I got at the same time as both of those duds back there, and this one has grown an entire new vine with lots of leaves, so there's no excuse for them not to be growing, just saying. And then my Hoya Carnosa Susie Q, which is working on a new leaf back here. If if you can see it, if it'll focus. There is a tiny leaf growing. This plant was in a prop box for over a year before it finally felt good enough to be out here and was growing happily. So this is a lesson in patience, because sometimes some Hoyas just take a lot longer to be happy than others. Moving on to the next shelf, I have this lovely Hoya Irina, which I do really love. I feel like this would be on the top shelf, but it does fit better with the plants down here, so that's why I have it down here. I also have behind it my Hoya décor. This started off as an unrooted single node, single leaf cutting, and it has come such a long way. I'm very proud of that one. I also have one of my two Hoya Larry. They both look extremely different, though they came from the exact same seller, so I don't really know why they look so different. But that is a cross of obovata and fungi, in case you were curious. I do really like the plant. I'm just confused as to why I have two very different looking ones. I also have my regular Crassa petiolata, which I brought back from the dead, basically. It had flat mites. I separated it for a long time, went down to one leaf from this like really big, beautiful plant, and it came back and it grew through 3 new leaves in the past couple months. So it is much happier now. I also have a Hoya surigauensis. This one went through some stuff. It did not grow for the longest time, chopped it up. It grew this like weird thing that never became anything and just kind of died off. And then it recently grew this leaf. So I don't know what's going on with this plant. I just kind of leave it be and let it do its thing. I have a Hoya vitellinoides cutting here. I don't know what I'm doing with it. It is growing. It's got a new vine. This just came out this week. So I don't know. I really like it, but I feel like, do I need 2 of this plant? I don't know. I'm not sure. I also have this Hoya tomataensis. I really just like the name, to be honest. It is a cute plant. I love how round the leaves are, but I am most in love with the name because it reminds me of tomatoes, though it looks nothing like a tomato or a tomato leaf. And behind it, I have the Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. It has stunning new leaves. The purple splash just gets me every time. If you didn't know, purple is my favorite color, so anything that puts out a purple leaf, purple sunstress, I am all for it. Even just an emergent leaf, I love everything about it. This is the Hoya rinsii Borneo with a little bit of splash. It has not grown in a long time. It was a 1 or 2 leaf cutting when I got it, so I've got a couple new leaves, but it's been pretty dormant, I guess, for a while. This is a cutting that I really liked of my Parasitica Black Margin. I have some that put out really high silver in my collection, so sometimes I will keep a cutting if it does display those traits. This one just has 1 leaf with those traits. The newest leaf didn't do that for me, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with this one. And then I have a pubicalyx no ID back here. This one is one of the thirstiest plants in my collection, so no matter how often I water it, it just always looks really thirsty. And behind it, or next to it, I guess, this is one of my 2 Hoya Jennifer. This is the one that I think might look better, honestly. I don't know. This one's looking all right. It's happy. It grows leaves occasionally. And then this is one of my cuttings of the Verticulata Heartleaf Splash, formerly known as Parasitica. I really liked this one, so I decided to keep it, and I just need to repot it back with the original mother plant, but I didn't want to keep it in my propagation greenhouse anymore, so it lives here for the time being. And finally, the last row of my Hoya cabinet. I do have a couple of Matilde Splash back here. I really just need to pot all of these together. They're getting tangled up in each other anyway. It just needs to happen at some point. I think a nice full trellis of them would be beautiful. I just don't know why I haven't done it yet. I also have a bunch of Crimson Queen cuttings. I had a big basket at one point. It was not doing well. The ones from Home Depot, I just feel like if I'm gonna get a plant from Home Depot, I need to just reroot it anyway. So I chopped it up into a bunch of cuttings. I decided to keep these 4. This one's actually growing a new leaf. Very cute. And I just need to get around to repotting them. But I want a 4-inch pot, and like I said before, I am out of the clear 4-inch pots. So I'm just waiting for that, and then I will pot all 4 of these together, and they'll be very happy together forever. Next to it, I have the Hoya Michelle. It keeps putting out these wonderful runners that just don't do anything. So send thoughts and prayers for this plant because I'm slowly losing my patience with it, and I might just replace it. I have my other Hoya Jennifer back here as well. This one has not grown in ages, though it does have a little vine starting out over there, so maybe it'll do something. I have a couple different Memoria back here that I need to pot together. This one is doing a bit better than the other one. This one looks kind of thirsty, but this one's doing really well. So I will pot them together at some point as well. There is a theme here. A lot of these plants on the bottom just need to be repotted. This is the Hoya AH027. I got this from my friend Jessica, and this is a really unique one. I don't have any Hoyas like this in my collection. It's very round leaves, very pillowy. The veining is very light, and then it does have these dark margins. So it is very unique. I really enjoy having it. She gave it to me as a single node cutting, and I was able to grow it, chop it in half, and now I have 2 cuttings in here that occasionally give me leaves, but it's a pretty nice plant. I also have some cuttings of a Hoya crassipedilata splash back here that I'm trying to rehab, so we're just gonna move on from them. I have my Hoya Rangsan. This one is kind of a hot mess. I do want to restart it at some point just because it looks a little crazy. Like, that's a little too chaotic for me, I think. So if I can maybe restart it, get it on a trellis, it might do better. Oh, there is a new leaf over here. This is brand new. That's very nice. Okay, that's a nice surprise. I'll take it. I will take that. I also have a Diversifolia from my friend Jessica. This one is very interesting. It's a weird plant. I have a mutated leaf over here, so that's fun. But it's just weird. It never looks super happy, but I feel like this is just how it looks. And it is sun stress. Like, all of this red on the leaves, that's all sun stress right there. So that's cool. And then I do have a Carnosa Nova Ghost that did hate life for a while back here, but it grew a new leaf. So I guess that is something to be happy about. My second cabinet, well, this is actually the first cabinet, but the second cabinet we'll really go through is my Millsbow Tall. It is looking a little sparse right now just because quite a few plants on the bottom. I started over, or I graduated over here. So I'm running out of plants that are in that awkward growth stage to be in here, but I'm sure it'll get filled up eventually, and then maybe this one will be empty. It always fluctuates. But up top, I have a lot of Hoya. So I have my Hoya Mindorensis. I did recently repot this, and it's doing very well. I had one cutting that I bought a long time ago, grew it out, cut it up, and put it on a nice trellis. I have my Hoya Viola up here. This is Hoya IML 1619. I don't think it has any other name. It's very interesting. The leaves are very pillowy, very veiny, and occasionally it'll throw out a little bit of splash as well. This is my other Hoya Larry, and it does not look the same. Why are the leaves round? Why is it so light in color? It is so different. I have 2 Hoya species Laos here. This cutting that I fell in love with, and then this plant that I have up on a trellis. I don't know why I have this cutting. I don't think I need it. Then I have this little ping. It's doing pretty well. It's very happy, living life, eating all the fungus gnats. And next to it, my Sarawak. This is one of my favorite Hoyas. I sought after this plant for so long, and it's actually putting out some splash now, so that's very cool. It's not the fastest grower in the world. I feel like the big leaf Hoyas aren't, but that's okay because it's really pretty. I have my variegated Maranta. This one is from Hawaii. I know it's not a rare plant, but I love it because it's from Hawaii. I have my only really variegated Scindapsus, meaning like not silver variegated. This is the Mayari. It has not grown. I bought it in October, but it's alive. It hasn't really browned at all. It's doing okay. So I hope one day it'll grow for me. I do keep it back there for now just because I don't want it to burn. But then up over here, this is the last plant in this section. This is the Philodendron Ploumanii. Unfortunately, it doesn't love me, so I did have to restart it, but it's doing okay right now. So fingers crossed that maybe this time around it loves me. The second shelf, this is the most full shelf and looking really good in this cabinet. So I'll just take a moment to enjoy that. I do have the Lacanosa Royal Flush Hoya here. These are all Hoya actually. This is the Latifolia Snow Queen, and it has grown through the glass, up here, up and around, and all the way up here. So that's just what this one's doing. It is stuck. I cannot get it out of here. I've tried. So it's just permanently fixed in the corner. But you know what? It's happy there, so we'll just leave it be. In front of it, this is one of my all-time favorite Hoyas, and I don't really know why, because it's not silver or anything, but I just love it so much. This is the Hoya Nicotine. It is a cross between Hoya Nicholsoniae and Christine. I love the round leaves. I love the subtle veining. I love how smooth the texture is. It's just a really pretty Hoya to me, and I'm hoping it will grow again for me soon, fingers crossed, because it hasn't grown in quite a while, but I might just need to fertilize it, so that is on my to-do list for sure. I also have this Hoya Rigidifolia. It has grown quite a lot since I got it, just new leaves left and right. Got some new leaves down here. I've got a new leaf here. There are lots of cuttings that were in here to form a plant, and they are growing all over the place. So hopefully one day this will be a nice full bushy Hoya. Like this one, this is the Wyetii Lori Lynn. This is one of the easiest Hoyas in my whole collection. It just grows. I don't have to do anything to it. I'm not even sure if I've ever fertilized it, and I have fertilized this one, and it's just growing like a weed. It is so full, so bushy, so compact, and the variegation is just out of this world. I have leaves that are full on yellow or white, fully variegated, and I have some that are just really nice margins, the whole gambit, everything in between. This one has really nice variegation too. So this is a really nice plant. Highly recommend that one. I also have my fungi. This was one of my first ever plants from my friend Jacqueline over at Jacqueline's Jungle. This was my Secret Santa gift from her, and I'm so proud that I have always kept it alive, always kept it happy. It was a single node cutting. I was able to chop it up, and now I have 3 plants in this pot. Hopefully they will grow around this trellis. I'm trying not to attach them too much. I just have one attached there. I'm hoping they'll do it naturally, but it's filling out, and I really love the splash. I really love these leaves. They're very glossy and just a really nice plant. The back row here, I have a few little smaller ones. So this is my Verticulata Albo. It finally gave me some growth. I got this plant, I think, back in October or November of last year, and it just started giving me new leaves. I also have the Verticulata Heartleaf Splash. This one I need to pot with the other ones, but I will be doing that soon. And another Matilde Splash. This is probably the best one I have, just in terms of the splash on it. And I'm trying to attach it to the ring stake, but it has other ideas. So fingers crossed I can get that one attached well, but I'm not too sure it's gonna let me do that. In the bottom section of this cabinet, I do have more Hoya, because that's mostly what I have these days. This is a Fitchii, one of the only thin leaf Hoyas I have, and I don't love it. I don't remember how I came across this plant, but it's okay. It's just harder to keep well watered. The leaves are nice, they're just very thin. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship with that one. This is a newer one. This is the NAP04? 11. Okay, this is the NAP 11. It's a really nice Hoya. It's really pretty. It's just newer to me, so I haven't had a chance to see it grow at all yet. I do also have the Waymanii Borneo Hoya, and this plant does not ship well, so I waited a long time to bring it into my collection until I could get one in person just within driving distance. I love the ruffly wavy leaves. They are fuzzy. The emergent leaves are purple, and then they fade out to green, but they fade out in the coolest way, in a very patchy way. So this is looking really neat right now. Love to see that. And it is actively growing. It does grow very slow, but it is actively growing. So I'm very happy about that one. And then I have my no ID Hoya here that is trying to fall over. I don't know what it is. So if you have any ideas, definitely let me know. Right now, the best guesses that I have are Incrusata or Renoensis. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Those are the best guesses so far. I have another variegated spiral ginger back here that looks terrible, but if you look down in the pot, I've got 2 new growth points. So it is coming back to life. That plant is really resilient, really good at doing that. So it will go through phases where it looks really good, then it looks really bad, and then it just comes back. So it does test your patience, but it is a good plant. I really do like it. I also have my Glacier Pothos in here, looking very cute, very happy lately. I have my Fuwaensis that's in here for now. I don't think it's gonna stay in here permanently. I just recently was like, I need to fill out this bottom because it's of this cabinet because it's very empty. So I put this one in here. This is one of my favorite Hoyas as well. I just cannot say enough good things about this plant. I have my Affinity Lambii, which has grown a few new leaves in my care. It is very cute, very splashy. That is why I bought it, because it just has so much splash on the leaves. And I have the nodes remaining from my Philodendron Micans Velvet Halo. This is very sad. I did have like cuttings with leaves as well, but this was all the nodes and they were very tiny. So I put them in this prop box because I am about to go away for a week and we will see if anything happens. I also have my Philodendron White Wizard back here, but I try to cover it up because it does get sunburnt very easily. I eventually want to move it over here, but I need to get rid of some of those plants first. Just move them to a different area. That way I won't have to worry about this plant getting sunburned anymore. I also have this Hoya NS 05-240. This one is very fuzzy as well. The emergent leaves do come in a purpley color, which is always a plus. And my original Global Green Pothos is back here. I have a bigger one that I got from Costa Farms, but this is a non-TC Global Green Pothos. So I do have it separated. I got it from the same seller where I got the Glacier at the same time. So I kind of keep them in this cabinet together. And then finally, I have my absolute mess that is my mother plant, Scindapsus Platinum. I will be starting this over again soon just because I have runners. It has grown all the way up the pole, all the way down the pole, and it's starting to loop around. The leaves do get really big, so I want to be more on top of this one on a pole eventually. But for now, it does look very full at least. Like at least you can say that. It's not the worst looking plant I've ever seen, and the leaves are gorgeous. I just love any silvery plant I can get my hands on, but honestly, it's not top priority to fix right now, but I will be fixing it in the near future, getting it started over and up the pole and be on top of it. Lastly, I have my little side table over here that I love. I love this little setup. I do have a bed for the cats in here that Luna sleeps in quite a bit. I also have cat toys just like everywhere in this room. But I do really like the setup. I think it's very cute. I have some of my taxidermy bugs over here, and I have my OG Monstera albo. I love this plant with my whole heart. This is one of the easiest plants to have in my collection. This leaf is super cool, and I cannot believe that it is fenestrating now. So I'm very happy with that plant. It just lives here. Sometimes this gets a little loose, so I have to fix it. But I also have a little Anthurium corner. This is my Zara Michelle crossed with Doc Block F2. So lots of Doc Block hybrids to make this. This new leaf is the biggest one yet. This is, I think, the leaf that came out before it. So huge size difference. I am attributing fertilizer to that because this plant is very happy right now. I did not expect it to be just so round, but I don't mind it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like it round, or would you prefer a more slender leaf? I don't know. I don't actually know. I also have a Magnificum Silver Blush hybrid back here, and it is finally giving me a leaf that is not ugly. So I want to highlight that really quickly because that was the first leaf that came out in my care, and it's just really bad. I don't know why it did that, but I fertilized it. I stayed more on top of the watering, and we have a beautiful leaf. So very happy about that one. I have a little Wyetty eye there as well. I don't really know what I'm doing with that. I do have I think this is my original Queen Anthurium, the Warocqueanum. This new leaf got a little damaged, but I have been transitioning it to the regular room humidity because it's just too big to be in greenhouses now. So we do have some browning, but the new leaf isn't browning. Even though it ripped, I did bump into it, so I ripped it there. It came in like this. I don't really know what happened there, but I think it's doing all right. I think it is transitioning well. I gave it this really tall vase as a planter. I just had a vision for this plant ever since I bought it. So I bought this probably around a year ago when this was just a little seedling. And I was like, I really want leaves that are like draping down from a tall vase. So that's what I did, and I think it's gonna look really cool once it matures. And there's like really long leaves coming down, but the vision is coming to life slowly, but it is. And finally, I have my third Target greenhouse. I can't believe I was able to get 3 of these. I did not know how many I would be able to get when they came out. And I'm very sad that they've never brought them back, but Target, get on that. I have 2 little baby Anthurium in here. This is like my little Anthurium greenhouse. This is the Zara Michelle crossed with red crystal. This I did have to rehab. It lost all of its roots after I brought it home, but I rehabbed it successfully and it now has a new leaf and roots now. It does have lots of roots. And then finally, this is the Dock Block F2 crossed with red crystal with saffron just singing in the background for you guys. This has not been the happiest plant I've had in terms of Anthurium seedlings, but it's growing. It's growing slowly, but it is doing better, I think. I don't know what it is about these red crystal hybrids, but they don't seem to like me that much at first, but then once they get used to my environment, they do a lot better. So that is it for this plant room tour. What did you think? Do you like how I've set up my plant room? I feel very fortunate that my husband agreed when we moved here to let me take an entire bedroom of this house and turn it into a room for my plants and the cats. They love hanging out in here as well. I am planning on getting a really nice big cat tree for the corner next to the sage fabricor, and that will really round out the room. I think they'll hang out in here a lot more than they already do. I mean, Nutmeg is laying by the window just watching birds. So they are in here quite a bit already, but I just want them to enjoy it as much as I do because it's really nice having them in here with me, even if I have a squirmy, meowing saffron right now. But if you like this video, make sure to give Saffron and I a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything else from us here on the channel. Thank you again for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.